What's up, everybody? What's up, everybody, and welcome back to yet another episode of the Camera Junkie live stream. My name's Luis, also known as Mr. Camera Junkie, where I remind you to upgrade your skills before your gear. And sometimes, no matter how hard you try, ish hits the fan because I had everything set up for today's live stream and I decided to do the smart thing. And you know what? Let me shut down my computer and restart it. And what the did I just do? Because now nothing is working. Look, the image is so delayed, it's sickening. My computer in the back is no longer connecting. Nothing is working the way it should. Let's see, let's move to the next. This is so bad. So I appreciate you hanging in there with me. Oh, let's go here. Let's go. Wow. Nothing is working the way it should. Nothing at all. Nothing at all. My interview mode died. I can't get the computer in the back. My Mac Mini is crashing on me. All because I decided to. I gotta be honest with you guys. Fuck Tahoe. God, dog, man. Ever since I did the update to Tahoe, my life has been a living shitstorm when it comes to my setup and everything. So I'm probably gonna clip this part, but man, fuck Tahoe, man. Goodness Christ. I'm so frustrated right now. You can see obvious, so I'm not even seeing you guys' comments because I had to restart everything and nothing is working the way it should. And everything is so slow. My goodness, I've never used my computer like this. I'm so pissed. Everything, and it's not Ecamm, it's not my app, it's the computer. Because like everything, the even the intro to the stream was all choppy. My God, man. I don't even know what to say. I can't even focus on what I wanted to do for today because of this situation. So thank you for bearing with me and hearing. What? Come on. Not Mom Moon. Oh my God. I can't even focus. Okay, now I have your comments on screen finally. Okay, let me see. Where was I? Where was I supposed to be? Okay. After my rant, and sorry for I'm just so frustrated with this right now. So, what we do around here, what we always do, the first thing that we always do is go ahead and check out the comments to see who were the first members of the crew hanging out in the chat. And man, I'm sorry, guys. It's just like nothing is working. Nothing is working. Give me 1 second before I get to the comments. I just want to reset. I'm gonna put the music up. I'm just gonna try to connect the Mac Mini just to kind of reset myself because I don't want to get stuck in this mode. There's no reason why 2 minutes of my day should rest up the entirety of the rest of my day, including this live stream. So I want to change the vibe and we're gonna reset and do it all over again because that's just it's just like I stepped in a pile of dog doo, right? I just need to wash it off and keep walking. So that's exactly what I'm going to do. And if you have been hanging out here, then hopefully you can learn from my experience of just taking the hit and just keep on going. So let's reset and do that. All right. We are back. So, welcome once again to the Camera Junkie live stream. My name is Luis, also known as Mr. Camera Junkie, where I remind you, as always, to upgrade your skills before your gear. If it's your first time here, welcome. Sorry for the rant from beforehand, but sometimes the tech just gets under anybody's skin. Yeah. If it is your first time here, welcome. Please be sure to introduce yourself into the chat so you can get the nice Camera Junkie crew welcome. And as always, the tradition that we go around here is that the first thing that we do is go ahead and check out to see who are the first members of the crew hanging out in the chat, who have been so patient with today's situation. And let's go ahead and see who's hanging out. So if you haven't done so already as well, please be sure to hit the thumbs up and the like. It's highly appreciated. And it will make me just feel a little bit better with all the nonsense that's gone on in just the past 20 minutes. So, all right. We have Mr. Parker Jennings in the house saying hello, everyone. How are you, sir? We also got Randy saying hi to everyone. It says, hope we're staying warm. Yes, especially with this cold climate. Like, if it's cold in South Florida, right? And there was parts that said that they were getting into the 30s, into the 20s even. In Florida, even if it's in the panhandle, like that's cold. So stay bundled up out there. Randy says the ZR. Look at me, I'm just so lagging behind with this. I'm gonna switch cameras. Hold on. We're gonna go to AB and A camera. We're going to switch it to the Camlink 4K. Okay, there we go. Should be a better, and that should fix the other scenes as well. Yep, whatever's there. No cinema. Anti-cinema. Okay, but let's still go to, let's just leave it there. All right. So Randy was saying ZR LED fix is my favorite of the firmware updates. Like, I haven't even done it, and we're gonna do it live together. So that's part of today's live stream. I'm gonna go ahead and download it off of the website and take the steps to see exactly what's necessary to implement the update, on top of talk about the features that the update does bring. So yes, Randy was saying the power LED light staying on. I think I haven't even touched it, just from the little bit of information that I've gotten. I still think that the clipping line is going to be the most functionally favorite feature for me. Just whenever you're there, you could have a quick guide to your exposure to make sure that you're not clipping, especially in the red raw. Everything after that is like good to go, because you could change it in post, which is what makes it so cool. He also says, I've had my frappe mocha, so I'm all wired up. Okay, that's good. Says Osba and upper lamp on shelf. Well, Randy's got that one in the bag. Good job, Randy. All right, and now I should be able to. This is so frustrating, guys. I just pre-programmed those things and they totally switched all the numbers on me. Good job, Randy. Good job. What can I say? Holy shit. Bro, guys, this is the anti-stream. This is what to show you what not to do. What not to do in the stream. Holy crap. But you know what? I'm not gonna stop. I that's what I feel like doing, and I'm being 100% upfront with you guys. Right now, I just feel like waving the white flag and saying, you know what? All because I spent all this time like setting it all up, and then for me to try to prevent problems from having, let me restart the computer just to make sure that there's no background programs running around for everything to just go to hell. Man. Damn Tahoe, man. I reset, guys. I reset. I was supposed to be like good. I reset. And I'm sweating. I'm sweating right now of how I'm heated, guys. I'm heated. Yeah, you got it, Randy. It was above me. I'm trying to keep my energies up, guys. I'm trying to be like, but when everything blows up in your face, it's just like, goodness Christ. But we march on. Great job, Randy. It's not to diminish what you've done. It's just, holy crap, bro. Okay, we're gonna march on because we also had a plan. We're gonna do the ZR, and even though everything else has gone to shit, the ZR is gonna save the day. So that's what we're gonna do. So we're gonna continue. It says Mac OS has another update for video. Right now they can kiss my ass. Right now I don't give three shits about it. Right now, they can go fuck themselves with this update because it's only caused me fucking hell. And I've just been pampered. I know that's what it is because goodness Christ, I've had this computer for 4 years. And for 4 years, it has been rock solid. No problems whatsoever. If I could rely on one thing, is my Mac Studio. And for right now, I cannot do that. And it is the most frustrating thing. And it's why, because I've already been accustomed to it doing the job every single day without turning off, without a problem. And now it's a big problem. Weather's not affecting things. It's not weather. Hi, Sly. How are you doing? She's saying, hey, I agree. The update is a nightmare. At minimum. I don't care about anyone else's experience. My experience has been dog shit. Dog shit. It says minimize your screen. See, no, there's no warnings, man. Says everything has slowed down with this eye candy software. Yeah, this is the same fucking problem that Vista had. Vista had this same damn problem that the only way that we got that thing to work is to remove all of the fancy elements and make it look like XP. Bam. And the funny thing is that the only reason why Windows even came out with Vista, it was because they were trying to mimic how nice Apple looked. If it's one reason why I own an iPhone, is because it works. And it's what I've told everyone always. I go, why do I use the iPhone? Because when I click an app, it works. I don't have time to waste on why it's not working. Like when I was young, sure, I can go and go, you know what? Let me reformat a PC. Let me spend 3 days doing updates. I go, not anymore. I don't have time for that. And that's why I use the iPhone. And right now, my Mac is the furthest thing from convenience. Goodness Christ. The furthest thing. Randy says, include FedEx with the Tahoe OS problems. I don't think they're using OS, but that's funny, Randy. Says hanging in Worcester, Massachusetts tonight. How you doing, David? Nice to have you here. I'm so sorry that like it's such shit and that we're dealing with this. Says the wonderful world of live streaming. No worries, Lucas. We're all in here with you. Like I appreciate it, but that's what I'm saying. I know you guys are cool about it, and that's what I'm saying. It's 100% how annoying it is to me. You guys are just seeing me crash out, and that's what I'm saying. I'm sorry, because I try. Like you see, I've already gotten to the point where I'm laughing at myself, and that's exactly what I needed, because it's like so ridiculous. Because like I said, I know it's because I haven't had a problem with this machine for 4 years, that it's like you get accustomed to things, and now that I'm not being accustomed to it working right, I'm the one who's crashing out. So I totally understand it, but I'm 100% owning it. Does make sure you have the Z lens. Wait. Does make sure you have the Z lens on, or just the body cap when updating the firmware? Oh, okay. I was actually gonna do it body cap. Yeah, I don't normally. Let me say that. I don't normally do updates with lenses on there. So I stripped everything down on the ZR, right? So it's just stock, and it's got like a good amount of juice. If I remember right, it should be almost fully charged. Yeah, fully charged. And what I did to it as well is that I reset all of the settings on it. So it's completely blank. There's really no information. And now I'm just going to do the update. Or well, we're going to do the update live. Yeah, because you see, even the Z30 is choppy. Let it go. Yeah, let me know. Like the body cap should be fine, but just to confirm that. He's saying no sound. Getting no sound? I believe I'm coming through. So. Oh, when showing the Ozbot, just figured out. It could be. Oh, over there? Oh, just not even worried about it. Says first time of the year. Absolutely, sir. Says you Mr. Fix It on the fly. I don't know about it. It looks decent enough, but I could already tell this is 30 frames per second, and we're not getting 30 frames a second. Oh, this is funny. It says Fury Passion. That's exactly how I've been acting. There is no problem that can't be solved. Absolutely. You understand? Like I said, I'm already at the laughing point of this at myself. Like I crashed out. But I'm sorry guys, because you put in so much effort to try to avoid these same exact things, and then you do this one thing, and it's just like let me put this into perspective for you. I shut down my Mac Studio, and once I reset my Mac Studio here, my Mac Mini that had no problems whatsoever no longer wanted to connect to my Mac Studio, that I had to shut down the Mac Mini and restart it to get it to reconnect to this. How does that make sense? That is as if I am here in Miami and I'm connecting to a Zoom meeting, like let's say to Doc in Hawaii. And once I've connected over there, he decides, you know what? I'm going to now restart my stuff. Has nothing to do with me. But because he restarted his computer, now I have to restart mine. It makes zero sense. That's just what can I do, man? As long as there's a solution. Absolutely. You know what I'm about to do? I'm about to go, simple mode, right? And let's see about this. You know what? I'm gonna switch the whole game up, right? Boom. I just connected the OBSBot S3. And it still hasn't popped up. Okay, there we go. See the S3? And we're gonna switch it up to the S3. Boom. And you see, look, this proves it. This is a dedicated webcam. And I see the choppiness. Like, what are you talking about? This is 4K 30 and I see the choppiness. So this is like, this so that, you know, like for my own understanding, and then you also could benefit from, it is not the cameras. Look at it. All right. We go back to it. All right. We'll just leave it there. And that's what's gonna happen, guys. It just becomes a needle. What do you call it? Like a needle in my mind, right? A needle in a haystack of my mind, or a splinter in my mind, because I won't be able to stop like grinding gears until I figure it out. And it just sucks, because what it looks like that I'm going to have to do, which I've never done ever, is I'm gonna have to, like Doc says, nuke and pave my computer. I'm gonna have to it hurts even just saying it. I'm gonna have to restart my computer and then install all of these applications, and not only install all of these applications, but reinstall all of the plugins, and then not only reinstall all the plugins, but then make all of these micro adjustments to every single one of my applications just to get it semi-normal. Like, do you know how many presets I have per application on just my mouse? I don't even want to think about it. That's what I'm telling you. Like, just my mouse, for every single application I get into, I have a completely different layout and setup of how the buttons work, function, everything per application. And I can say over 15 applications. I'm still crashing out. What does Randy says? I said, I turn everything on the camera's microphone when rebooting. Before restarting, I turn them back on. Yeah, this, like, I wish it was that easy. And yes, David, Tahoe. Tahoe's been a big hoe. Tahoe's been a big hoe. She's that hoe. It says body cap in program mode for the firmware update. Okay, program mode. That's good to know. Thank you, Randy. Let me just get through you guys' comments so that we could actually get started. We're 30 minutes into this, and it says, I hear you, bro. I appreciate it. It says, do my Sonys do the same thing? All the cameras are doing it right now. Everything that's connected to it, whether it's NDI, whether it's local, anything, and I can strip it down to nothing, where nothing's connected, and it just have one video capture card, and I'm still getting the same thing. And it has to do with this new video codec, this Hydra, that I had found out that it was like taking up way too much memory, and then instantly found out that that's been giving problems to a bunch of people. So it's Hydra. What's it called? It was Hydra Video Codec? Video Manager. Hydra Video Manager. Oh. Okay, back to this. Focus, Lewis. Says I have to agree to connect. Wait, what does it say? I have. You see, like, even this, guys, like, you see the comments going back up and forth. This is how slow my machine is running right now. that I'm clicking it and it's not doing anything, and I'm clicking it again, then the comment is coming up on screen, and then it clicks like if I was taking the comment off. So it's disappearing, reappearing. I know you guys haven't noticed that until I mention it, but this is exactly what's been going on all throughout the stream. Like, everything is slow, everything is dog crap. I have to agree to connect the local network connections to computers and iPhones. Hey, what's up, Nano? It's been a while. Hello there. Tech for your needs is in the house. It says when updating to the new OS. This is the last one. It goes, Apple wants to be allowed to connect to your devices. It helps. I just don't know, because look at, like, guys, I even stream in 4K 30 because I don't even like the lag that 24 frames per second gives, because it just does something to my mind. So that's what I'm telling you. Like, for me to be seeing my own screen do this to me, I'm gonna tell you, I'm gonna spend way too much time on trying to find this tomorrow. But I think I'm gonna have to bite the bullet. I'm just being honest. I think I'm gonna have to bite the bullet, and I'm gonna have to reset my computer. It hurts me in my soul, guys. It hurts me in my soul. All right, but let's get into this. Where's my mouse? Okay. Let's minimize this. Where's my other? Okay. Let me see what we look like when we go into the share window, right? Chrome. Okay, there we are. All right. So we're looking at my Chrome window here. As you can see, I am at downloadcenter.nikon image or imglib or imagelibrary.com, right? With all the little HTML stuff behind it. This is the camera. And this is exactly where I landed. So this is the ZR page, and we're not looking for manuals or computer software. We're looking for firmware. So let's go ahead and click that. Okay, and we got the new version ready for download, version 1.10. And it says view download page. Mac OS. Yes, let's do Mac. Caution, updating the firmware. Do not update the camera firmware with lenses other than Z-mount Nikkor lenses or mount adapters. Other than the, failure to observe this precaution could result in camera malfunction. Okay, let's read all of this. It says this software update customers, because Randy is basically letting us know that there are some precautions to this. Listed above, the affected product is provided only in acceptance and agreements by the listed below. By selecting accept and clicking download, you've held to have accepted the terms of and conditions of this agreement. Be sure you understand the terms and the agreements before beginning download. This service supplies software that can be used to update the ZR camera. See firmware to version 1.10 before proceeding. Select firmware version in the camera setup. Check camera for firmware version. You will not need to download or install this update if your firmware is listed above. Of course, come on. I'm reading everything so meticulously. I'm like, I believe that was obvious. A card reader or computer are required for the firmware update. Read the information below. Proceeding. Okay, we saw that about the Nikkor lenses. What I'm gonna do, just to be sure, I'm not even gonna leave the body cap. I'm gonna put the 50mm Nikkor lens on it so that I kind of like clear it, you know, and at least give it exactly what it's supposed to work with. Sigma. Oh, here it is. I was looking for it with the green ring on it. If you guys seen my shorts, well, not that sounded very wrong. So hold on. If you've seen the video shorts that I've been putting out, I put out one with the step up rings that to be to be done in TPU. And that's fun because I usually have them in black, right? And now I 3D printed my own in green. And if you want to, you can go to mrcamerajunkie.com and download your own set of STL files, step up rings, and you can make them in whichever color you like. Okay, so we got this now. Okay, so we got the Nikon 50mm f1.4 lens on it, and I gotta tell you the truth, this is an amazing lens. Like Nikon or Nikon has never had a problem with making good glass, and they're putting their best foot forward with the new lenses that they're coming out with, especially the ones that have come out with the ZR. I think I mentioned it last week or something like that, but I made a video and I put some B-roll footage that came from the ZR, and I was compelled to put in there that it was from the ZR because it looked way better than all the other footage. Noticeably different. Okay. Changes. Okay, so this is also what I wanted to get into. Video recording. It extends the maximum length of the footage that can be recorded in a single session. Brightness information, right? This is the camera. Brightness information, including histogram waveform monitor, now displays a warning indicator, which is that red light on the brighter side that shows the potential of loss of detail in the highlights when in R3D NE 12-bit R3D codec, and is selected for your video type. You can also set the video file type to Red 3D 12-bit in auto mode. Oh, that's great. Okay, that's cool. Because that's gonna allow a lot of people. I'm looking at the teleprompter, guys. Sorry, I'm not trying to do zoom face. But the fact that you can now record in RAW, R3D RAW, in auto mode is gonna get a lot more people to use it, just period. So there's gonna be a lot of people who are not used to, you know, dealing with manual, but they will switch it to the R3D mode, and that can inspire them to actually start learning more about their cameras. So I like that aspect. That's gonna be cool, especially for the novice user, someone who's just getting this camera and is not really in tune with what you can do with it, with all of the potential. Because I'm gonna be honest with you guys, the red codec, it is amazing. Red raw on the ZR, what you can do with it in post, amazing. Now it's a chunky file. It's a chunky file, but that's what allows it. But let's continue. So you can do it in auto mode. Note that shooting in M mode will automatically be selected. Added video file naming item. Files named consistent of a real number, clip number, recording date, among other information. Added LTC signal input to time code. That's so cool because it had time code, right? But I don't think it was implemented correctly, because I saw the feature in the firmware that it has right now, but now I believe you'll be able to tap into it through the microphone jack on it. So I think that's the biggest difference. So you can use time code externally from external generators. See, yeah. Because now time code can be synchronized with the time code generator connected to the external microphone line input connector. Controls: increase the maximum number of files that you can, oh yeah, that you can be displayed in your input LUT. So you can go from 15 LUTs to like 50. 50. Yeah, you see? Import cube file in the custom settings menu up to 50. 50 cube LUTs, that's craziness. That's craziness. I think that might not be the best thing. I actually don't recommend putting so much LUTs in there, because you're never gonna go through them. Like, especially when you're recording. So that would be a limiting thing. I think that juice isn't worth the squeeze. because of the simple fact when you have more options, you're gonna take longer to do everything with the camera. So for example, I worked at the Cheesecake Factory. I know that orders go in a lot faster at Five Guys, where they only have a limited selection of the things that you can get, comparative to every person at Cheesecake Factory ever. Because when they open up the Bible, they go from burgers to pastas to everything that they could imagine, and that's even before they touch the dessert. So there's so much information that is like information overload, the menu at Cheesecake Factory, comparative to having a single board and saying I want a single, double, or triple at Five Guys. So it's very, very different, and I think that that's where this falls into like the bad side of the cheesecake menu, where if you're walking around with 50 LUTs, you're gonna want to see what all 50 look like, and that's just, to me, a waste of time, especially when the LUTs are gonna be applied in post-production. I think you grab 4 or 5 of the mostly used, maybe one for exposure, and then after that there's really no need to carry around so many extra LUTs. But that's just the way that I feel. Okay, so we're at the 50 LUTs displays. Added the power on lamp energy saver. When the setup menu, the power on lamp remains lit while the camera is turned on and off when it's selected. Okay, so yeah, it's like it no longer disappears, because what it does is that this camera, as you can see, has a little green light. I don't know if you can really see it right there. Yeah, it's coming up. So that little green light eventually turns off like it just did, even though the camera is still on. See, the camera is still on and working. Oh, over here. Camera's still on and working, except there's no green light here. So people turn on, or yeah, there's like they think it's off when it's actually on, and it could be there in standby, and then they go to turn it on and they don't see that it's actually already been on. So then they kind of turn it off. Network update. Update some guidance. Text displays on the camera when connecting to the Nikon imaging cloud services. The connection procedure itself remains unchanged. Okay. And other changes, fixes an issue where noise sometimes occurs in the audio during live streaming, USB streaming. Okay, which is good because I plan on using it that way. Okay, viewing the camera firmware version. Okay, this is just like procedure. Okay, let's go ahead and download this. We're gonna hit accept, of course, right? This is saying that as soon as we hit accept, we're putting in the disclaimer that we're accepting it. So we're gonna go ahead and click download, and now that's downloading and should be ready in a second. So now let me get my card reader and pull the card out of the ZR so we can transfer that file. Okay, so I have the card reader. Pulling out the card, pumping it in here. Five whole seconds. 5 complete whole chunky seconds after I hit the button on my stream deck for that transition to start moving. I don't know. I think I'm just saying this aloud so that I could document it for myself, because this is just, I wish I had more hair right now to pull it out. Okay. We've downloaded the file. And it looks like all we have to do is put it into the root. Go ahead and connect this. I'm scared adding another device to this chain. We're waiting. Let's see what you guys are saying here. Says the Nikon PZ28 to 135 f4 is excellent. I wouldn't doubt it, guys. And I'll tell you the truth. An f4 lens, right? Like on a FX3 that goes up to 12800, right? On the ISO as a second base. That is such a high ISO to reset that. Even with an f4, you're probably gonna have to put a ND filter in a lot of night shots. That's where like people underestimate like f4, and I'll tell you the truth, f4 at 135, that's Boca Town. Like you take any photos at 135 millimeters f4, that is like the equivalent of any 50 millimeter at f2.8. That is the equivalent of any like 24 millimeter at f1.8. Anything in that realm, you're gonna be getting that same type of bokeh in the background at 135 millimeters. And if you have a faster lens than that, like if you're at an f2.8 or f1.8 at 135 millimeters, you don't have bokeh in the background. You have watercolors. You have just a blur of colors in the background, like, because no detail will be kept whatsoever. So that's what I'm saying. If you want just hone it down good bokeh for f4 at 125 millimeters plus, you're gonna be super satisfied with all of those images. All right, so let's see where we're at, Obi. Okay, we're finally connected. Everything is running super slow here. So right now I am in the directory, just in the core. So I just opened up the memory card, and I'm just gonna drag the bin file, because it's a .bin, the bin file, and I'm just gonna drop it to the root, which is where all the folders are at. And now I'm going to hit X on that, and I'm going to disconnect or eject that memory card. Boom. Randy also says the Tamron 135-150 f2/2.8, heavy but excellent also. I could imagine, like that's what I'm saying. If you're at 150 at f2.8, that's craziness. Like I said, that's watercolors. What happened? Uh-oh. Aiden's iPad died, so I need to go handle this real quick. Come on. Dad duties. I will be right back. We're back. Okay. Now that we've officially moved over the information to the card, now we're going to be putting it into the ZR camera. I'm gonna go ahead and turn said camera on. Should be able to give you the top down. There we go. Whoa, the obs bot is the only one that's not taking a dump. Interesting. Good to know. Okay. So now, if you press this button down once, you're going to get this fast menu. But if you don't know, you press and you hold down to get into the internal menu. Okay. Start from the bottom up. Let's go ahead and check this. Firmware versions. Okay, so it's in the little wrench and it's the bottom option on the little wrench option. Is that like settings? Okay, so on the side settings you have the camera like for photos, video, then you have the little pencil like customization, playback menu, and then you have the setup menu. That's what it's called. And once you go into the setup menu, the one all the way to the bottom is the firmware version. We're going to click into that. And we are on firmware version C1.01 and lens firmware 1.0. So we'll just leave that there. It says update from memory card is the first option that we have available there. So we're going to go ahead and click that. And you want to do it. And we're going to hit, whoops. Update from memory card on. I guess it was off. Okay. That's crazy. I usually wouldn't be on, right? I thought that maybe it would give me another prompt, but as soon as I clicked on, it says warning, do not turn off your camera during the update. Update will take several minutes. And now that's exactly what we're going to do. We are just going to wait. So that's something that could be a little confusing for some people, because it was, at least for me. It says it's updating right now, so I'm just going to leave it alone. Maybe Randy could let me know if that's exactly. Okay, see a first indication of life, so to speak, because there's no lights or no nothing moving on there. I was willing to be patient because it said updating. I thought it would have just given me like another prompt, like, are you sure you want to do this? So it's interesting. But at the same time, if you really think about it, if I wasn't willing to update, why would I have the firmware on the memory card in the first place? Okay, so it's going to take several minutes. Let me see what you guys are saying. There's the mouse. It says in the menu settings, go to the wrench. Randy had already put it in the chat. But you see, it was kind of intuitive. If you've ever updated a camera before, like it was pretty straightforward. It says, I love the Tamron 35 to 150. It's a beast of a lens. That's Sony's secret weapon, you know, those Tammys. Right? Is it Tamron? Yes, it's Tamron. Yeah, I was just trying to make sure, you know, going into the mental archive. But yes, the Tamron. Most people don't know this, but Sony owns a pretty big share of Tamron, and that's why they're invested in it as well, which is a smart deal, right? The company makes money, Sony also makes money, and because they allow they're kind of like one-to-one native lenses for most of Sony cameras, and the image quality that you get from these Tamron lenses are amazing. I call them the mini or the baby G series, right? The G Master, you know, point D, so to speak, and those things really give an amazing image. Like my cousin, she bought a Tamron lens and she has it on her camera. And once she put her 28 to 70, I don't think she's ever used the button to change lenses. It hasn't even been pressed. She just, that's now fixed part. You can crazy glue it to the camera because it's never coming off. Just weld it together because that's her lens and that's it. So firmware update is the last item, usually the wrench. Yep. Does that joystick always gives me problems? So it gives you problems as well? It wasn't giving me problems. Like, I think I'm already used to it. The only time that the joystick actually gives me problems is if I'm holding it upright and I'm trying to use the joystick like in the air, so to speak, right? If I'm trying to do a menu. But if I have it like in this configuration right here, using it up and down, I haven't had any real issues. But same thing I told Peter, maybe you should just get a remote for it, right? Get one of those remotes and then you can connect right to it, and you won't have any problems with the joystick because it's super convenient. You know, the one that I showed off last week in that sending unit. Randy says it's gonna take about 5 minutes, then turn off the camera. We're gonna see if it's gonna tell us to turn it off or if it's gonna turn itself off. And if you want my opinion, guys, this is a beast of a little camera. It's impressed me more than anything with its image quality, but also what's really impressive is how small this camera is, even though it's a pretty big camera. And what I mean by that is that it's a full frame mirrorless cinema camera. The image that you're getting off of it right now is pretty much second to none when it comes to the mirrorless field, right? And it is not that much bigger than my A7C. It's actually smaller than my FX30. So that's the best way that I can put it. Like, it's smaller than the FX30. The FX30 is chunkier. It has a fan. But even if you were to remove the fan portion right where it's at, right, and just remove all of that and say that's where the camera ends, it's still thicker than this one with its lens. That's why I said, like, it's really impressive what they've done. Is like, I've always been impressed with how small Sony cameras are in general. Like, for example, the first Sony full frame camera, the Sony Alpha 7, the original. That camera, it is so thin. Like, it is like so thin, so small, and I always get like amazed. And the A7C series, right? The A7C Mark 1 and Mark 2, these cameras are so small that they're APS-C sized. Right? And that's the whole thing. They're APS-C sized to their own camera, so they're comparative to their own. Oh, look, the camera turned itself off. Gonna hit the joystick. But let me just finish that thought. They're comparative to their own APS-C cameras, and these are some of the smallest ones on the market, because if you compare Sony's APS-C cameras to like the GH series from Lumix, like the GH3, the GH4, like, and some of those were micro four thirds, and they were bigger than the APS-C, you know, options from Sony, and their full frame cameras are relative to their APS-C. And this guy right here, the ZR, this camera right here is smaller, right? You know what? Let me show you what I'm talking about. FX30 from the flange. See how much thinner it is, even where the LCD is in line with where this silver part finishes here. So this whole extra millimeters here, this whole part where Sony is written on, is thicker than the ZR, and that's not even including the fan part that sticks out even more. So eliminate all of this, and then it's more relative to this. And you know, even though I do enjoy the grip, but that's still extra space where they can put electronics to, you know, make this camera work, which do not exist on the ZR. That's what I said, like, this is a really impressive piece of kit that they've come out with. And the one thing that I said, I was like, this is like a really wide camera, but it's actually the same width as the FX series. It's really impressive what they've done with this camera. Because I take nothing away, and you know what? Let me go big screen on this one. 3. Everything's moving so slow. If you guys haven't done so already, please hit the like button. I really appreciate it, especially with today's stream, the way that it's going. Okay, so right now I'm gonna go ahead and turn on, and that's it. It looks like we're done. I'm gonna go ahead and go back to the menu, firmware version, and we're officially on the new firmware version. Boom, we're done. All right. That wasn't too hard as far as the procedures to get it up to date. And now, oh, I pressed the power button. And now all I'm gonna do is mess around with it. I really want to put it through its paces, because like I said, I had also recently just reset this camera, so none of the presets, the user manual settings and stuff like that have any of the R3D setups in it. This is the camera. Excuse me. So that's exactly what I'm gonna do. I'm gonna go ahead and put this through its paces now. And yeah, I'm excited because, like I said, the biggest thing that I'm excited for is the clipping point. Like, man. It's an impressive piece of kit, man. And if you didn't know, I've already created a Rig Junkie kit for the ZR camera that you can download, print out yourself, and totally rig out your Nikon ZR camera. And that's available right now at mrcamerajunkie.com with a bunch of extra goodies out there that you can download and print for free, all available there. All right, now that we have the Nikon, the only thing left to do with it is start playing with it some more and actually start recording and making more content with it and about it, which I'm about to get to doing very, very soon, especially with, as soon as, like, being honest, the challenge has been kicking my butt right now with all the other things that I wanted to do, but I said I was gonna do it, so I'm doing the 30-day challenge and 30-day prints. And once that's done, I know that that's gonna free up a lot more time, but also get me to be able to create files a lot faster, create more content so I can make more output. And that's when you're going to start seeing a lot more content on this camera, on the S3, which I still have a list of videos that I need to make, but all of that's coming fairly soon. So if you haven't done so already, this might be the time to subscribe and make sure that you're following along, because there's going to be a lot of things popping off in 2026. Just at the end of the year, I created a new application, which is part of my frustration, my anamorphic app. Even though I know it's working correctly, it's not working correctly on my own computer, which is frustrating to a whole nother level. But with that being said, I have the application, which is available now on the App Store. If you want to get it and start de-stretching your images or your anamorphic lenses on the spot so that you can use them for live events, live streams, or any type of recording, allowing you to skip a step in post-production because you're able to record it like that in on the fly. So that's really cool. And then also, some of you already know, but this is just a little bit of insider baseball. I was able to complete my first provisional patent on a design that I've made, and that's something that's got me like giddy, ecstatic, like over the moon, because I'm gonna be pretty soon in contact with some pretty amazing companies and some very interesting opportunities when it comes to my design, what I've created, and I'm excited for the future. Like, I never would have thought that I would have done a patent, and I'm just 12 months away from completing that goal, but I took the first steps and now I am patent pending, and now I'm going to be doing all the steps to complete that aspect and get a whole new product onto market, which is, like I said, something that I would have never dreamt up 5 years ago, let alone anytime prior. And I'm just ecstatic because in the last month I've created videos every day. I've have some videos in the can that I haven't finished editing, but I still have them, like the 5 things that you need to buy for the ZR. I have it there. I just need to add the B-roll and finish that up. But also, just like I said, I have that content coming out, plus I have the application and my new part, which is patent pending, and I can't wait. I just want to put a couple of things together a little bit better so I can have a better demonstration of what I've made for the first time that I'm going to be talking about it, whether it be on a live stream or a video or vice versa. So like I said, if you haven't done so already, this is the time to subscribe, because there's a lot of things going down on the Camera Junkie YouTube channel, and you can be part of it, right? You can follow along, because there's so much potential that is just like, it's just beneath the surface, right? And so many things are gonna pop off. I'm so excited. I'm ecstatic because of this, and yeah, and now you're just gonna have to stay tuned. I'm gonna have to leave that cliffhanger right there, because I can continue talking about it, but I don't want to get there just far. So that's where I'm gonna leave it, and I can't thank you guys enough. Oh, actually, we're not done, even though I am almost speaking like it. Let's go ahead and do the final things. This is where we do class participation. This is a segment that I like to call Snap Decisions, and we'll see exactly what it's gonna look like. Snap Decisions. This is where we do the would you rather section of this, and this is where you get to participate, and I would love to hear your opinions on the questions that I'm going to be asking right here in chat. So just so that you know as well, I haven't seen these questions beforehand, so I'll be answering them on the spot with you just the same. Let me go ahead and grab those. All right. So this week's Snap Decision question number 1 says, would you rather lean fully into short form vertical content? Man, this, I tell it to be biased, but it knows what I'm doing. Like, Chad knows what I'm doing. Okay, so he's asking this question like, hey, do you want to lean in fully into short form vertical content like you've been doing for the last 20 days? That's exactly what Chad is telling me right now. So would you rather lean fully into short form vertical content or long form YouTube videos? Medium? Oh, that's the next question. So that's the medium hard. So that's the question. I would love to hear what you have to say. If you're a content creator, even if you're not, just how would you rather, if you were a content creator, would you rather lean in fully into short form vertical content or long form YouTube videos? It's so hard because I've already made my decision. And my decision, in all sincerity, is both of them, which means both of them. I am going to be doing the long form content, but like I said, I've been doing this 30-day challenge with Pat Flynn, and doing short form content every single day. So this is the whole thing. The Would You Rather says lean in fully into short form vertical content, which doesn't mean that you have to do it every single day. It just means that that's what you're leaning into. Or long form YouTube videos. And if I had to choose, right, gun to my head, I have to choose one between, even though I love it, I will still do the long form YouTube videos. It's what I prefer. And if I had to choose one between one or the other, I'm going to be doing the long form content above the short form. Short form right now is what's popping and it's what's hot to like actually build up on the channel, which is what I want to do this year, right? And if you haven't, this is another chance for you to subscribe. But that's exactly what I would do. The long form YouTube videos is what I would rather do. I'm doing both of them, right? Because I see the potential that is in the short form vertical content, especially with just getting like your name out there. It's almost like creating small little commercials for your YouTube channel. But I wouldn't just want a channel of YouTube commercials, if that makes sense. I would still want to be able to create long form content that brings more value. So it's always like, jab, jab, hook. And the hook would be the long form content. And that's something that I always want to have in my arsenal. So if I had to pick one or the other, I'm picking long form. Let's see what you guys have to say about that. All right. Oh, Gretchen's heading out. Okay. Gretchen says, I'm so impressed with your creative design skill, Lewis. So talented. Thank you so very much, Gretchen. I really do appreciate your input, and you know that means the world to me. Mookie is in the house saying, hello all. I made it in time for some snap decisions. Absolutely. Randy says, Mookie and C, watch it on the rewind because it has been exciting. Oh, Randy, you're putting me out there. Mookie, you missed the crash out. I crashed out because all of my tech has not been working. As you can see, I'm a little choppy, right? With like stuttery. And this is the best that it's gotten. Like the only camera that's not stuttering is my overhead OBSBot. Everything else, and it's just having to do with Tahoe. With Tahoe being a hoe. So Tahoe. Gretchen says, I have to run and finish packing because she's heading out tomorrow. So thank you for hanging out, Gretchen. And once again, I appreciate all of your support. Hitting the thumbs up on my way out the door. Yep. Take care. Hugs to Aiden. Absolutely. See, Randy's with me. Says both of them. And Randy is a good one on doing both of them as well. Sly, short form are nice when I'm bored, but long form is better when I'm trying to learn something new. Yep, but this wasn't even so much about you consuming. This is about you creating. So the question would be like, would you prefer creating short form or long form? Let's say you had the choice, and no matter which path you took, they were both going to be highly successful, right? So whether you wanted to dedicate your time into short form or long form, they were going to be successful in this hypothetical. Which would you prefer, to create short form or long form? And even though I prefer creating the long form, even though the short form is easier to create. See what I'm saying? Like, it's kind of like a double negative, so to speak, but like the short form is easier to make, but it's not as like internally satisfying as the long form content is. That's how it is for me. Mookie also says long form YouTube videos because it might be easier to chop them up into short verticals afterwards. You see? Yeah, absolutely. Even though I'm supposed to be doing that with Opus clips. This guy is supposed to be doing that with Opus clips. I'm trying to hold myself accountable, right? But I've been using Opus Clips for the distribution of all of my short form content just the same, because it hits 6 platforms as soon as I hit go. So it hits YouTube, Instagram, LinkedIn X, Facebook, and TikTok. I almost forgot TikTok. So yeah. So IG, TikTok, YouTube, LinkedIn, Facebook, and X. They all get dropped on there through Opus Clips, but I still need to do it for this long form. I need to chop up these live streams weekly. I should chop up my crash out, right? You know what? I'm down. I'm gonna do this, okay? And you guys are hearing it first. I'm gonna take today's episode. I'm gonna put it in Opus Clips, and I'm just gonna tell it, hey, clip out whatever you think is best. I'm not gonna give it no parameters whatsoever. And if it clips out my crash out, I'm gonna drop it. I'm gonna drop the crash out and let the chips fall where they may, because, hey, you never know. Like, I'm so pissed at this OS. All right. So Randy's saying bye to Gretchen. It says short to advertise the long form. Yep, that's exactly how I feel. It says I will watch the rewind for sure. It says interested in the ZR information. That's towards the end. That's way past the crash out. But yeah, have fun. It says he just uploaded the ZR or updated. I'm sorry. Yes, he just updated. Everybody's saying bye to Gretchen. All right. Now the next would you rather. Would you rather number 2 right here says, would you rather use AI tools to speed up editing workflows? Let's get the words out. So once again, would you rather use AI tools to speed up editing and workflows, or do everything manually but keep fully creative control? Ooh, that's interesting, because when I read the first part, I wasn't even thinking about losing creative control with AI. I just think about it as like an assistant, right? Like I want it to assist what I'm already doing, not just letting it go ahead. So the way the question is proposed is like, would you rather allow AI to take on some of the creative workflow from you, but then at the same time, like it'll speed it up, or do everything manually? I think you already know my answer, right? I wasn't even thinking that I was going to be giving up control. So I wouldn't be doing that. I would keep everything manual, right? Because it would just be more true to myself. And that's just the way that I see it. I don't see that the way that I'm using AI right now, I'm not keeping manual control, because I ask for things. And if it gives me something that I feel that is useful, I will use it. If not, it's absolute garbage. So it means that little to me, because it either matches my creative eye or it doesn't. And that's where it will never take over of saying like, oh, that's what AI decided, so I'm just gonna go with it. No. I'm being honest with you. I'm trying to do a little bit of that. I'm just trying to say, hey, you know what? Done is better than perfect. And I'm trying to do it with thumbnails, right? I'm trying to get more attractive thumbnails and let like AI just do it. But a lot of times, like the image doesn't even look like me. So I end up going back to the drawing board and saying, you know what? I'll use the positive things that I can from AI, but I can't just relinquish control. So that's me. I'll do everything manually if it's necessary. But right now, I'm glad that I have the power to use both. Okay. Let's see what you guys are saying here. Randy says, keep manual, fully control. Absolutely. It's like I'm a control freak, so no AI for me. Keep full creative control. I think that's exactly what's going to happen. And with so much AI slop that's been being pumped out right now, you know, there are people who really are doing this like mindless drones. They just put a prompt, whatever the AI gives it, they're just going to put it out there, and that's more than good enough for them, because they're just kind of like milking it, and that's not who I am. So obviously I'm going to be keeping the creative control. So, and that's the whole thing. That's the whole point that I was trying to say. I went off on a squirrel here, but that with more AI slop, people are gonna be, of course, resonating to what's more true. Like, even, for example, even if it looks better, right? They're still gonna gravitate to what looks real. And that's just my opinion. A bit of AI is eventually going to be inevitable. Absolutely. That's what most people don't understand. Like, it isn't going anywhere. The more you resist, the more left out you're gonna be yourself, because there's gonna, like, you know what's scary? I was listening to somebody, I forgot. It was some type of podcast or something. But they were talking about Neuralink, right? And Neuralink is the brain tap connection that Mr. Musk has made, right? And it's helping a lot of people with neurological disorders in a lot of different ways. But let's say you're a person that's saying, like, I do not want to have a computer chip tapped into my brain, which is understandable. I'm in that camp. But what's scary is that there might be a future that you cannot avoid that, right? Because the way that we right now, like, just for a quick, simple example, right now, everybody's accustomed to Zoom meetings, right? Like, oh, it's a Zoom meeting. Like, oh, just hop onto Zoom, and it's commonplace. What happens if we get to a point where Neuralink is commonplace? And you go to get a job and somebody will be like, oh, well, we only communicate using Neuralink. So either you hop on the Neuralink bandwagon, which is where everybody's working, or you're actually selecting yourself out of the network. And that's like a future that I also feel is inevitable. Right? The workflows determine all. So once something becomes like a standard, the rest is history. All right. Now, the last question. Would you rather, this is the hard one. Would you rather grow fast by chasing trends you don't love, or grow slower by only making content that you're proud of? That's a no-brainer. See, this is where I said, Chad, you dropped the ball. But this is a question, I guess, for all of you. How do you feel? How do you feel about this question? Would you rather grow faster on whichever platform you desire by chasing trends that you don't love because you're just chasing trends, or grow slowly by only making content that you're proud of? Well, me, it would be the latter. It would be the grow slow by only making content that I'm proud of. That's exactly a testament to my channel. Like, I get comments all the time of saying, like, why don't you have so many such and such subscribers? And that, like, I appreciate all of you who are hanging out here with me because you see that potential, right? But I can honestly say it's because I've never botted. I've never bought bots, right? I've never had my channel botted. I've never, like, tried to pump up fake numbers to try to make it seem like it's something that it's not. And it's all been organic and 100%. And that's the only way that I've been able to stay consistent, right? This is episode 270. You know what that is? 270 consecutive weeks of the Camera Junkie live stream. And if it were be chasing trends or trying to be anything inoriginal or unoriginal, inorganic, I would have quit a long time ago, right? And that's just the way that it is. Like, I absolutely love hanging out here every single night, love speaking with all of you and getting the information back, and this is why I do what I do. And I always ask, hey, if you haven't done so, hit like, subscribe. But I know that that's all going to change, because this is going to be a year where my name is going to be spoken about a lot more than usual, and it's going to having to do with a lot of what I've already been doing. And if this is your first time here, let me reiterate, this is the year of more output. I'm going to let the chips fall where they may, and we're going to continue to just grind it out, which is part of this 30-day challenge. Like, my YouTube numbers or my, like, Instagram numbers haven't blown up off the charts. They've increased dramatically, and I'm grateful for that. But it's not like I've been an overnight success or ever will be, because I've put in years to the work. But I have been on live streams just within these last 20 days where a lot of people are already recognizing the work that I'm doing with my shorts and my series of 30 days and 30 prints in 30 days. And that's that I'm doing 30 3D print designs available for download in 30 days, one every single day. And I've just been getting a lot of good feedback from it, right? Like the people that I watch on live streams as well, Mr. TB, Brandon Talbot, um, uh, BT was on his live stream and like he literally stopped. He's like, "Hey, Mr. Camera Junkie, on top of everything, like, dude, the 30 for 30 series, I'm absolutely loving, like hooked on it." And I have people that are already messaging me like anticipating the next design and what's going to be the next thing coming out. Another one of those things, which is like the affirmations, which was Bob, and Bob is actually Gretchen's husband. And Gretchen, he's been impressed with all of my designs, and he's just been saying like, I don't even know like how he's even thinking of these things as being like problems, and not only them being problems, but then finding solutions for them. So the impressive part is that he's an engineer and he's been working with engineers his entire life. So, you know, hearing that type of praise from someone who's been in the field of engineering and, you know, manufacturing a bunch of different things is pretty nice. And that's one thing that's also giving me that added bit of motivation to just keep going. And also, you know, the amazing feedback that I've gotten from the people that I've shown my patent pending design, which I'm so proud of that. Like I get to say like I have a patent pending on a design. um but that like I've had quite a few people that when I showed them this item, their first words were like, how can I invest? Like I'm looking, I'm interested because I see what you've created, and they see the potential in it just taking off. So I'm really excited for that. And all of that that I've been talking about is going to be happening this year. So you guys stay tuned. You know, mark the calendar, because like I said, this is episode 270. That's 270 consecutive weeks of the Camera Junkie live stream, and we're going to continue rocking out without skipping a beat. And now it's getting late because we had technical difficulties, but we're not gonna leave without Cities Gaw, channels that I think you should go and watch. And this week's Cities Gaw, oh, I gotta pull it up because this is not the appropriate window. See, that's my app. My app is working fine. See, that's the NDI app. But when I bring it into Ecamm, the computer can't handle it and it's all going to ished. Okay, anyway. This is not the file that I was looking for. Where's today's Cities Gaw? There we go. Bam! Cities Gaw this week is none other than Mr. Paul Feinberg. Excuse me. Paul Feinberg is a buddy content creator of mine. We communicate online, and he's really been pumping out a lot of good videos lately, and he's just been consistent with that. So it's just kind of the same motif of more output. So he's been creating a lot of great content for a long time, but now on top of it, he's also creating a lot more frequently. Another thing that I learned from him is that he's not too far from me. He lives in the Orlando area. He's a man of faith, and he does a lot of productions for his church as well as for himself and his YouTube channel. So that is this week's Cities Gaw, none other than Mr. Paul Feinberg. Let me go ahead and click his video tab to show more. As you can see, he's got a green theme that he absolutely loves. But yes, that's this week's Cities Gaw, Mr. Paul Feinberg, channels that I think you should go and watch. Yep, that's how we do it. Bam. All right, and we did it. Let me go back to this one. That's the one that's working. All right, and let me go ahead and check to see the last thing that you guys are saying here. Randy was saying that he wants to grow slower. Absolutely. like I said, slow and with pride. Absolutely right. That's another thing that's part of it, right? That I'm proud of everything that I create, and that's why I won't chase a trend ever, because of the simple fact that if it doesn't fit within me, it's not gonna get made. It's almost like an impossibility. So Sly as well says grow slower and keep the passion. Exactly, right? That's a good key word right there, the passion. Because behind my A6100 back there, that's exactly what I have written behind the flip screen as passion, because it's something that I always keep on the forefront when it comes to this. So, like, I have passion for my love of cameras, and I'm gonna share something with you guys, right? A camera that I just got yesterday. I updated today, and now it's actually working correctly, because yesterday it needed the firmware update yesterday. It was acting like my studio. Let me just say that. That's it. But it's actually this old camera, but new to me, the Insta 360 Go 3. Yes, the Insta 360 Go 3. Now, of course, you know me, I'm a sucker for a flip up screen. So this little guy has a flip up screen, but it's an action camera, so it falls into that category of like GoPro. So you can put it in a lot of places, but then also it's like a fidget device, because it's got magnets. You can take the camera out and then also monitor what you're recording on here. You know, these features are not new, but the one thing that I do have to say is that when it comes to cameras, right, the way that they feel in your hand and how much you want to like fidget with them and mess with them is always a good thing, because the longer you have a camera in your hand, the more likely you're gonna end up using it. And this little guy is quickly falling into that category where I'm vlogging into it, even though I don't shoot a vlog, and I'm just doing it because I'm just like fidgeting with it and learning all about it. So one of the cool features that I learned about this camera, which is the action camera aspects of it, is that it has a one button record feature. So it's completely off, and I'm able to just press the record button one time, and it kicks on automatically and starts recording, just because it knows, hey, it's recording. And I didn't know, but it had voice recognition. So I can tell it to stop using or the word recording, right? And if I were to use the word stop in sequence with that and say stop, it will actually stop. So sometimes I'm saying start, then use that word recording, and it doesn't really know the difference. And I thought I was having a problem with the camera after I did the firmware update, but it's not. It's literally that I can tell it stop recording, and it stops. And the thing is that once it stops recording, whether you hit the button or you verbally tell it to stop recording, then it shuts itself back down. And that's one of like the coolest features of this thing. Like, if you're using this as a vlog camera, that feature alone is dope. But I'm gonna have to go into the software to turn off that stop recording feature, because I know that that's stuff that I'm gonna be talking about, like when I'm talking about camera start and stop recording and stuff like that, and I can't have it stop recording me while I'm in the middle of a thought. So, but it's an interesting little piece of tech, and I'm excited for this one as well. Because another thing, like I said, it's got magnets, so it just sticks to anything. Like, yeah, flip up screen. This is like a little fidget toy camera. Loving my experience with the Go 3 right now. It's been like not even 12 hours, but absolutely having a lot of fun with that. And that's where I'm gonna leave it, guys. This is episode 270. Wow, guys, that's well over 5 years, but that's 270 episodes of the Camera Junkie live stream without skipping a beat. And as always, I thank you all for making this my favorite place to hang out, my favorite place to be, and that's why we're gonna keep rocking out. So yeah, let's get the words out. Let's get some lubrication. If this was your first time here, then please be sure to like, subscribe, do all the YouTubery things, and mark it on your calendars. 10 p.m. Eastern Standard Time for the Camera Junkie live stream every single night. without skipping a beat. So if you're looking for consistency, you have found the place. And I can't wait to see all of your smiling faces while we do it again right here. Same time, same place next week on the Mr. Camera Junkie YouTube channel. So until then, take care of yourselves and each other, and I will see you, yes you, next time. Talk to you.